Welcome back to Paul and Benny.
I'm Paul.
I'm Benny.
And today we're talking about 7 kitchen items you don't need.
Let's jump right into it. The first thing we don't need is the miscellaneous kitchen gadgets that everybody seems to have piled up in their drawers. Like, why do you need that much?
Almost every store has a whole aisle of kitchen gadgets. Most of them you don't need.
Nope.
But the ones that get me the most are the lemon juicer and the avocado knife.
Preach it, Paul.
I mean, really, unless you have really bad arthritis or there's something wrong that you can't. Like, lemons aren't that hard to squeeze. If you really need all the juice out of the middle, get a wooden spoon and stick it in. You'll be fine. You don't need something else keeping your drawer from opening. And don't get me started on the avocado knife. Like, who invented such a thing?
Not a millennial. We all know how to make avocado toast and how to cut an avocado.
Exactly. I mean, once it's cut in half, it's
Pretty easy.
pretty easy. That skin is not difficult. And that seed, I mean, unless you need every slice perfect, that seed is popping out no problem. Get a spoon. I mean, I can usually get out with my fingertips. You don't need it. You don't need it. If you have one, take it back.
Don't need it.
Don't need it. Take it back. Get your $7.99 bat. Throw it out. It's wasting space.
Okay, so number 2, the second thing we don't use in our kitchen is...
A specialty pot. We don't use an Instapot or a pressure cooker. I've never needed a whole roast done in 30 minutes. Ever.
That's just poor planning. Do you really need a whole giant pot on your countertop to make a roast? No. Your pans are tucked away underneath the stove like us, or maybe in the stove, and it's not on the cabinet, not on the counter. You don't need it.
You don't need it. The third thing we don't own, which there's nothing against it, but a toaster.
We have never had a toaster, and to be honest, I discovered the beauty of making toast in a cast iron skillet with extra butter slathered on both sides. Throw that in a hot piping cast iron skillet. It makes your toast crispy. It makes it have so much more flavor. A toaster, dry. You need to put too much. No, you got to put jelly, butter. No, this comes out perfect just as is. Ditch the toaster. Get a cast iron, throw some butter in there, makes the best toast ever.
And if you don't want the luxurious grilled cheese style bread he's talking about, which is the best toast ever, you can always just throw a slice of bread in a dry pan or under the broiler. I mean, it's toasted like mere minutes.
Mere minutes. And the fourth thing we don't use in our kitchen is
We don't have any non-stick pans. Maybe once in a while a non-stick skillet would come in handy, but really we've never had a need for one. A few years ago we became concerned about maybe there's a health issue with them. Not 100% sure. Don't get me started on it. But what we really don't ever need is a pot for boiling water that's non-stick. If you really need that, somebody let me know why. Why do you have that pot?
You're literally boiling water.
You're boiling water. It doesn't stick. Green beans, warming up corn, peas, greens.
He said don't get him started, but he already started himself.
They don't stick, Ben.
Okay. Oh, and this is like a 4 sub thing. Plastic spatulas. You might still have one in your drawer from years ago, but like growing up we used them because that way you wouldn't scratch the non-stick pan. Just don't get a non-stick pan and don't use plastic spatulas. Just don't.
Kill 2 birds.
Kill 2 birds.
One stone.
Okay. And number 5 is a stand mixer. I've never been one to bake in the first place. I'm just an old school whisk and bowl. Paul's a little bit more of the baker. Do we need a stand mixer, Paul?
It would be nice, but we don't need one. For the amount of baking we do, we don't do it on large scale often, although it's getting more and more, and we don't have a lot of counter space. So I'd rather stand there and hold the mixer in a bowl because it's never more than like 3 minutes max. Like,
right.
You're going to be okay, I promise. Are they beautiful and luxurious and awesome? Yes. Do I want one? Probably very soon. Benny, Christmas is coming. But you don't have to have one. Don't feel bad if you don't have one. Don't go out and buy one because you think you need one.
Don't spend the money until you need it.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
And the last 2 items we don't have in our kitchen, which are probably the most shocking to people when I say this.
Shocking.
Number 6, a microwave. What?
How do you guys live without one? Are you guys serious?
It's super easy, and yes, we are serious. I had lived in a small apartment, my very first apartment, and I didn't have a microwave. We lived in a really tiny house, and we literally had no room for a microwave. So it's just become second nature to reheat things without a microwave.
Right. And honestly, we don't cook in a microwave. We heat things up, and we don't like steamy food usually. It's just not worth the counter space for us. And like, you take leftovers to work, but you have a microwave there.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really eat TV dinners anymore. Like,
Yeah.
we really can't justify having one. Like, what would we use it for? Popcorn. But you make
Popcorn.
great popcorn. So.
Yeah, see that, and that's, I'm gonna throw in, okay, 6A, popcorn maker, like one of those things, like even the plastic bowls and stuff, stand popcorn mixer on its own, you just don't need it. Like, you can make amazing popcorn with just oil or butter, and a pan, like, and a lid. You need a lid to the pan, but like, that's all you need. It comes out amazing. Get the proportions right. Maybe we'll drop something in the description on how to make it, but it's so good in a pan. It's old school, but it's totally worth it.
And probably just as fast.
And just as fast. Yeah, just as fast. Definitely. And number 7, the most shocking of all, especially for me when I say
for
it,
him.
is a coffee maker. Coffee pot. What? I know, I am Mr. Coffee himself. Nice to meet you. If I haven't met you, I'm Mr. Coffee. I literally need coffee every single day of my life, every single morning, and I never use a coffee pot.
I mean, he's even owned his own coffee business. And with his own, a room full of coffee beans, he never owned a coffee pot.
Never had a coffee pot.
Tell him why.
So, here I go. So,
Soapbox, please.
Soapbox, where are you? No, so you don't need a coffee pot because, first of all, usually, more often than not, a coffee pot will burn the coffee beans. And it just tastes bitter, it tastes gross. And then how many people do you know sit there and just drink a pot of coffee by themselves, those big giant pots? No, what happens is it sits there all day, stays warm, stays blech, and then by that time you pour that last cup, it's no good. It's not good, and you're putting a ton of cream and sugar just to mask the bitterness of burnt coffee. No, I won't do it. I'm not doing it.
He's not doing it. Usually I drink tea anyway. So for one person, it doesn't make sense. They say, get a little small coffee pot.
No.
For what? He likes coffee concentrate anyway. He likes espresso drinks,
Yes.
cold brews, even instant espresso over a coffee pot.
And I was just going to say that lately I've been like dabbling in instant coffee, and there's a wide, beautiful world of instant coffee and instant espresso. So I've kind of been exploring that. But like Paul said, anytime I make coffee, I make a concentrate. So I usually do cold brew. I usually do some sort of, iced coffee even in my French press. And it just tastes so much better not made in a coffee pot. Ditch it. Get rid of it. Comment if you feel the same. Comment if you want to know how to start that process, because I will help you out. You don't need a coffee pot. You do not need one. So there you have it, the 7 kitchen items that we don't use and you don't need.
Absolutely. You will have more room on your counter, more room in your drawers, more money in your wallet, and you won't be inconvenienced one bit. You don't need that junk.
Leave it at the store.
Leave it.
If you like watching videos like this, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you see when we upload more videos. As always,
I'm Paul.
I'm Benny.
We're super grateful for clean counter space and lots of room in the drawers.
And we're grateful for you watching.